Guys, it's Seb and welcome to another networking tutorial. Today we're just going to be doing the second part of our lobby video. The agenda is we will edit it so we'll add the IP, the ping, to the client's view. We also make it just look a tiny bit better. So this means it's actually connecting with the server on the local network. Of course, it will not work on a global network. So let's just jump right into it. So we'll just start off going top down. So we'll start off with the script, our server step. And right now what we're just going to do so we can accommodate for more things being sort of sent back and forth is we're going to do buffer right to our buffer U8 and then 0. So this is just our ID for this thing so we can sort them out in our async networking event. So that's all we need to do for this script in this episode, in this video. So now we're just going to open up our lobby. We've got to create, we have to go to the step event, and we've got quite a lot of things to do here. So now what we just got to do is add a few things. We've got to add a lot more things into the join. So first we've got to go buffer equals buffer create. We're just going to create another buffer like we did up here. So buffer create, and then we're going to do 1024, so that's a good size for our buffer. Buffer fixed, and to the alignment of 1. Next we're going to add 2 more sockets. The first one is going to be a UDP socket. So we're going to do UDP socket equals network create socket network socket UDP, and then now we're just going to add a TCP socket. Cannot type today. Equals network create socket network socket TCP. So now we finished with the join one. We've just got to create another server in the host. So now we're just going to add the UDP server. So this is to handle pings and things like that. Now we'll create server network socket UDP 35235 for the port, which we will do just to keep in line with all the other ports we've used so far. And then we'll just set that to 1. So now we've done that, we can head into the asynchronous networking event. And this is where we add pretty much all of our things we need. So first we're just going to add a thing that will detect the ID of that is being sent. So MID, which is what we're going to call this variable, equals buffer read async load. So we'll do the buffer because this is finding the buffer variable from the async load. And then we'll just read the buffer U8 because that's what we wrote it to. So next what we're going to do is we're going to have a switch statement. So for you, those of you who don't know, but most people really do, a switch is it's kind of like an if statement, except so it's going through every result that could happen in one thing. So it's going to go switch, and we're going to enclose it around the end of this bracket here. So we're just going to go case 0. So this is the 0. So this is the case that is 0. It's kind of hard to explain. So it's pretty much so say if you write hello into the variable, this is what's going to happen if the variable equals hello. So case 0, and then here at the end of this one, break. So that's sort of breaking off the end of the statement. So now what we need to do is, since we've done that, I just like to do this just to make it look a little bit nicer. So I'll do that, and I'm just going to tab them out a couple to make it look more suitable and better. There we go. So now we've done that, we pretty much just need to add a few more things into this if statement, and then we can go on to the case 1, which we will add later. So now what we've got to do is go buffer seek buffer buffer seek start, just like we've done before, and then to the offset of 0. Now it's going to write buffer write buffer u8 and then 0, because that is the variable of the server one that we will be adding in a second. So now this is what we're doing right now, just by the way, is setting up the ping. So now buffer write buffer u32 and then current time. So this variable pretty much just gets the time that it is currently in. I don't really know what format it's in. It's a lot of numbers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go network send UDP. So this is just to send it UDP without having a connection. We'll use our UDP socket, and then we'll do it to the async load. And this time, from this map, we'll be getting the IP variable. So this will be getting the variable it was sent from. Then 35235, because that's the port we set up before. Then buffer, and just like before, buffer tell buffer. So now we finished with that one. We can go on with case 1, which we will be adding in a minute in that second thing to actually send some data to this. So now we're going to go ping equals current time minus buffer read async load buffer to read from the buffer, and then buffer u32. So now we've done that, we just go IP equals async load IP. So now what we're going to do is found name obj. So this is pretty much just so we know, because we're going to be doing another with statement, equals 0. So next we're going to go, so if you just drag this guy up, we're going to go with obj, oh, I cannot press the shift key today it seems, with obj server name if the IP equals object lobby dot IP, then object lobby dot found name obj equals ID, because that is the ID. So now what it's going to do is we've finished this statement, is we're going to go out of this and then found name obj dot ping equals ping. So now we've done that, we can go finish with all of this if this massive one, the if equal task equals host. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go, if task equals join, we're going to go if task equals host. Now the rec buffer receiving buffer equals async load buffer. Now type, just like before, equals async load type. Now we're going to do an if type equals network type data. Now we're going to do MID equals buffer read rec buffer, the one we just set up a second ago, and then buffer u8. Now we're going to do another switch statement. Now if the case equals to 0, we're going to go buffer seek buffer seek start, and then 0 again. Now we're going to write buffer write buffer u8 and then 1 with the one we just set up here. Then buffer write buffer u32, and then we're going to read what we wrote before, so rec buffer and then buffer u32. So now we've done that, we just need to send it back to the client. So we're going to go network send UDP socket async load, and then get the IP address again. Then 35237 buffer, and then buffer tell buffer. So now we've done that, let's head into the object server name, and we got a couple more variables to initialize. So let's just head into there, into the initialize variables. We just got to add an IP equals, and then ping equals nothing. So now in the draw, we've got a few more things to do. We've got to, so before we draw the text, we have to draw a rectangle. This is just to make it look a little bit better in my opinion. Draw rectangle x, y, x plus 256. This is just my dependent dimensions I prefer. I do recommend these, but you can do your own. Then an outline of 4. So now we're going to do this. We're going to set the align, so this is in the middle for this text. So draw set horizontal align, FA center. So now I've done that, we'll send the align back to FA left. We will draw text x, y plus 32. Then we'll do server IP, a space after that just to make it look better again. Then plus IP. Draw text x, y plus 64. Server ping plus string this time because we need to convert it to a string from a integer, and then that. So we should be done now. Let's test this just to make sure. So what we're going to do, I've got this on another window. I will open this up as the host. So let's just wait. I'm just waiting for this to open up. So here we have it. Go H again, and let's just call this join me smiley face. Now we will open our one we just made, which is of course the exact same thing. Ooh, so it is not the exact same thing, as I do have an error. So let's just see what this error is. So it's line 18, wrong amount of functions. Yeah. So I just forgot to add the buffer here. I was typing and talking too much, and I didn't add it. And it says that we do not have enough of those, and that, yep, that's right. Alright, that should be okay now. Sorry about that. We will run it again, and wait, what? I'm just gonna pause this video, guys, and I will let you know when I'm back. So me being me, I realized that the curly brace I added was completely not necessary, so just leave that one out. And another thing that I have done when I was recording the scene, even when I mess something up, so I have to re-record this one again, is that you have to change the X and Y coordinates to these two to make it look better for the rectangle. So just please take a moment to copy that, and to also add the IP variable here, so it does add it in. So now we've done that, let's just test it again. I've still got the other one open here, so let's just test it. It should work. So we'll press J. So here we have it working. The X and Y are not completely correct for the text. That is just because I have not added that. I will just show you guys how to do that now. And yeah, so what we need to do for this is we need to just change the draw text here to draw text plus 128. So now let's do that quickly. I'll show you that this actually is working. So guys, while we're at this, thank you guys for watching. Please, I know it's been a very long video, please subscribe and like if you enjoyed. There we have it. And I will see you next time.